All right, so I wanted to make a quick lesson on cash flow management. Now, this really depends on where you're located and the legal structure of your business, so I can't really give out that much advice, but I'm going to basically explain how I do it, and hopefully that's helpful to you guys. So let's get right into it. So first off, you should definitely have a credit card if you're going to go and scale a dropshipping business. It's a must, especially if you don't have capital, because once you start scaling, once you as you start spending a lot on ads and stuff, you still need to have money left over to fulfill your orders, and so you definitely want to have a credit card. Now, what I recommend doing is having a cashback credit card, because you can get a lot of cash back from paying for ads. And so I always use my credit card to pay for ads, and I get a ton of cash back from that. Like just last year, I got $13,000 in cash back because I spent a lot on ads, and so it's a little bit of extra. Now you could also get like an Avion card or something like that, or an Amex, and then you'll get a ton of benefits, and you can travel all around the world for free if you're into that. And so it really depends what kind of benefits you want. I just kind of wanted cash back, and so I got a cash back card. Now, another tip, if you're using a credit card to pay for your ads all the time, and you don't have a super high limit, which is usually the case if you're young like me, it takes a while to build up your credit limit. What you can do is you can just pay your credit card ahead of time. So what I'll usually do is I'll always have at least like $10,000 prepaid on my credit card. So basically, I have a negative balance, and I can spend $10,000 on my credit card before it even actually gets to the credit part. And so that way, I don't have to worry that I'm ever going to max out my credit card. And every like 2 days, I'll just prepay my credit card again based on how much I'm spending on ads. And so doing that allows me to not worry about maxing out my credit card, and I let my ads can just keep on running. And so this is important because it's a really bad feeling when you're scaling and everything's doing really well, and then you get like a notification on your phone saying your ad stopped running. It's the worst. So yeah, make sure that you pay ahead of time. You pay your credit card ahead of time. Now, another thing is you definitely want to have a US dollar bank account. And so if you are in the US, that's a given. But if you're outside of the US, you should have a US bank account also. And so this US dollar bank account is going to be used to receive your payments from Shopify Payments or Stripe. And then every so often, you also want to withdraw some PayPal funds to your US dollar account. Because once, if you're not going to be using those PayPal funds for anything else really, so it's just going to be stacking up. And so what I usually do is every week I'll withdraw, a solid amount from PayPal to my US dollar account. And then this US dollar bank account is the account that you're going to be using to pay the fulfillment agent for fulfillment. And so it's easy because you're always going to have US dollars in that account, and then you can wire some US dollars to your fulfillment agent, and that takes care of that. And so the cash flow is really not that hard for this business. Now, for non-US residents, you do have to have a US dollar bank account. For the main reason is that if you don't, you're gonna have to get your payouts are going to be converted to your currency by the bank or by Stripe, and that's not what you want, because they will take a hidden fee. They don't tell you that, but they take a hidden fee. So they basically don't give you the actual conversion rate between the two currencies, and the result is that you lose about 3% of that money, right? And so think about that. For the Flex Posture store that I did $1 million in sales, if I did withdraw always to my own currency, to Canadian dollars, instead of having a US dollar bank account, I would have lost $30,000 just from currency exchange, just because I didn't want to open a US dollar bank account. So that would be extremely silly, right? And so, and that's the net profit, right? Like that. I mean, that's on the sales that it comes out of. It's not even on your profit; it's on the sales, because that every single payment's going to go through that. And so, definitely make sure that you have a US dollar bank account so that you don't have to go through these exchange rates. And then, once you do want to convert money to your own currency, don't use the bank. You can use a service called TransferWise, and this is what I do. TransferWise is a great currency exchange service, and they'll charge you a flat rate fee instead of like a percentage fee on the exchange rate. And so this is a lot better, and you'll save a lot compared to the bank if you're doing big transactions. And so that's pretty much it for the cash flow. Like, there's really not that much to it. So basically, US dollar account, that's how you receive your Stripe or Shopify payments. You have a PayPal account, and that's where your PayPal sales come in, and then every so often you withdraw from PayPal to your US dollar banking account. And then you use a credit card to pay for your ads, and then you pay off your credit card with your bank accounts. And to convert between the two accounts, your US dollar account and your currency account, you just use TransferWise. And so that's how the general operations look in terms of cash flow. So there's not that much to do. Once in a while I'll have to, the main task is just doing wire transfers. So I'll have to do wire transfers to pay my agent, and then I also need to do wire transfers to TransferWise to convert US dollars to Canadian dollars. And so that's what the cash flow looks like. It's nothing crazy, and once you actually start doing it, it'll make a lot of sense.